Welcome everybody. In today's video, I will be showcasing bug-out knives. Knives that you would carry when bugging out from your current domicile out into the woods or wherever you've got to go. My way of thinking about this is I like to have at least two knives. We're not going to touch on multi-tools. I want to do a bug-out multi-tool video later, and it'll just be multi-tools. And then you compare that with this video and you'll piece together. EDC is like a big jigsaw puzzle. You got to find the pieces and put them together. So, my way of thinking is hard use beater knives. And then secondary food prep lighter use knives. Now this is definitely a beater knife, but for the size, it'll be a light use knife. A hard use knife is a knife with at least 3 inches of sharpened edge, if not more. It has to be a full 4-finger grip, and then some. You know, something that you could do a lot of work with a knife real quick with a big blade. And this is something that you would be doing all your camping, you know, fuzz sticks, batoning, making traps and stuff. And these would be your food prep, lighter use, gotta trim your nails, gotta get a splinter out or something, small knives that you can pinch up on, they're not heavy, and you can get a splinter out of your hand or something medical, you get the idea. Running through here, one of my favorite big knives for bugging out is this Ganzo Paramilitary 2 replica. Replica, knockoff, however you want to call it. I like it. This is the Ganzo G729 coming in 440C steel. Now, I have not oiled this knife in hardly a year now, and so the 440 steel is holding up quite nicely, and I live in humid Mississippi. So the steel holds up nicely. Next to no blade play, next to no blade wiggle. Like, I will say there's no blade play, next to no blade wiggle. Very good knife. Forward finger choil. I've got the full 4-finger grip without the choil. I've got, 5-6-finger grip with choil. We've got the thumb ramp. The blade is nice and thick with a crisp spine for throwing sparks. So that's nice to have. That's one knife I like. I like Ganzo because they supply good quality, endurance, and budget. Like, if this breaks, I am not going to cry about it. Most of these Ganzo knives are sub $30, sub $40. Brand new. And then you can probably find them a little cheaper on eBay. This is the Ganzo. I wish they would name their knives rather than number them. If the camera will ditch its ADHD and focus, this is the FH923 coming in with D2 steel. D2! R2D2. And very, very crisp spine. Let me get my little ferro rod here. Oop. I need to wrap this up a little bit better here. See? Boom. Sparks. Great spark thrower. I had to wear the coating off of that ferro rod there. And it's on bearings. This is drop point action. Solid. Again, no blade play. And next to no blade wiggle. Very solid knife. And the G10 that they use has a slightly dimpled texture to it. If the camera will show it, there we go. Kind of like a woven pattern, but it's not micarta or anything, but it's kind of made to look like micarta. Very grippy. This is another Ganzo. Great knife, big knife. I really beat this one to heck, and this one's still coming in nice and solid. These things hold an edge. They come razor sharp out of the box. I have not had edge retention issues with Ganzos at all. And a good chunk of them are Benchmade axis lock, which is fantastic. This one is G745, coming in at 440 steel. Again, full 4-finger grip. Almost got a forward finger choil there. Not quite. No bearings, but very drop shutty. When done, when you pull that lock back, it just like boom, down. Very good knife. Very good size, very good shape for usability. If these two knives get too narrow of a tip that for your comfort, where you feel like you would snap the tip, which I don't think you really could too easily with those. Those are, the heat treat's nice, they're done well. This one is definitely a thicker out to the tip, and it's just a good knife. This one does not have as crisp of a spine for throwing sparks, but you can still throw it with the edge if you're fine with that. And the jimping on the back gives you traction. It's just an awesome little knife. Going on with the Benchmade, I like the Crooked River. Bigger the better. You go bugging out and you want a big knife as your main whip out self-defense combat survival knife. Benchmade Crooked River is awesome. Here we have two land knives, which are, when opened, 1.8 centimeters shorter than a Chris Reeves Sabenza, large Sabenza. I personally love the 9104, which is the all-metal frame lock version. These are on bearings, very drop shutty, very good action. I prefer Spidey flicking with this one. It's solid. It is an absolute tank of a knife. Again with the burps, I swear. Here is the same model, what is the number? 911. That is the number of this, if the camera will focus. And both knives come in 12C27 Sandvik steel. Very good steel. These are made by Sanrenmu, which makes a lot of Spyderco's bug knives, bug-themed knives. This one is great with the G10 being grippy, kind of a dimpled pattern as opposed to the Ganza woven pattern. But to me, this makes the knife a little too thick. Those are very thick scales. Comparing that to the metal version here, metal version is considerably thinner and sits in the pocket better. But if you like grippiness, which I would suggest as your bug out knife, if you have not carried many knives before and you don't know what to expect with sweaty hands or wet hands, greasy hands trying to hold a knife, which this one really does not slip that much for being metal. I am surprised about it, the way it's shaped and stuff. Your hand just locks in there. But if you're conscientious about grip on a knife, I highly recommend any one of the Ganzos that have G10 or any of the land knives that have G10. The scales just grip in there. You're not going to lose traction on the blade. And these are very good knives and very inexpensive. I think these come in just under 40. The Ganzos come in at 20 to 30. And if you don't mind blowing a lot of money, $250, you can get yourself a Benchmade Crooked River. But to me, budget would be an issue. Do not go... Pricey does not always mean better. There's some very fantastic budget stuff out on the market that I would recommend to anyone. Even though it sounds cheap, it's awesome stuff. And it's way better than like Walmart. To set the scale, Walmart's Ozark Trail knives don't hold a candle to any of these blades. All these blades are so much better than Ozark Trail knives, which just wobble and have so much blade play, wear out after 5 flicks. Yeah. This is Spyderco's budget brand called Byrd, B-Y-R-D. This is the Robin 2. Has a forward finger choil. This is one of the small knives, so without finger choil, I have a 3-finger grip. With finger choil, I have 4-finger grip. And this, I feel, is a very good secondary blade for small food prep. Now, some food prep, like you're cutting a big steak or something, of course, bigger knife. But I'm talking like cutting up cheeses or smaller things, and just like smaller, nimbler, more control, and just all around better in some instances than a big knife. There's stuff that a big knife does well, and there's stuff that a small knife does well. And it's good to have the pair. I like the Metal Arc because it is absolute all grip. Your hand is not slipping from this knife. And it's fun looking. It's reminiscent of a 49-cent knife that I had like 20 years ago growing up. And this is just a fantastic knife. Coming in like $25, I think. Great knife. Can't go wrong. Lock back. All of these knives lock. None of them are slip joints. Very secure. Here we have the Benchmade BUGOUT. Great knife, and I've done a video on this already. It'll go up before this video that I'm here or after this video here. Watch it and you'll see why I think this is not a good one and done BUGOUT knife. But as a secondary knife to any of these other chunk knives, BUGOUTs are great. Great for the food prep. They're aesthetic, they grip, they function, they're fidgety. You know, you're sitting there, you know, trying to pass some time. It's like you can fidget with this. It's fun. It's a good knife. I like it. I would highly recommend a BUGOUT to anyone if they paired it up with something else. As an EDC knife, good one and done. As a BUGOUT knife where you possibly have to do camping and stuff, not a good knife. Coming up with my two favorites for the small, budget, friendly, durable, secondary blades, which this one can even be a main blade for how thick it is all the way out, how solid it is when it's built. This is the QSP Penguin. I have this in micarta scales, which are very grippy when your hands are wet. You can get metal scales, plastic scales, different color scales, different steels. This one is D2 steel, which I do have to keep up a little bit, but not much, with oiling it. I spidey flick it most of the time, but you can definitely marble flick it. You can pinch drop like that. You know, it's a solid knife, and it has full 4-finger grip. I even choke up on it sometimes when I'm cutting, because it's not that bad with this knife. You've got good control of the blade. Being a sheep's foot blade, it's very good for a lot of stuff. Not great for food prep, though. With that straight cleaver blade, you're going to be wearing out that tip a lot before you get to other parts of the knife. But for $34, come on, this is one of the best pocket knives that I have gotten ever in my collection. This thing is so dang good. QSP, if you see this video and you got new knives you're trying to advertise, send some to me. I'll gladly promote them. If any of your knives are half as good as the Penguin, your knives are fantastic. This knife is good. Highly recommend a Penguin. If you only have $50 in your pocket and you can only buy one of these knives, I recommend the Penguin. It is, you gotta have it. It may look a little weird on the screen, but once you get one in your hand, it is just so good. You gotta get one. Next up is the tried and true Randall Adventure Training Knife Model 2. Rat Model 2. In mine is Ounce 8, which I have sharpened to hair popping sharp. I don't know if that shows up, but I definitely lost a few hairs there. You've got full 4-finger grip without the pseudo choil there at the tip. But with the choil, which I often hold this by, you know, you've definitely got all the grip you need. You can pinch grip and really use the tip for getting splinters out. It's great for food prep with the belly of the blade. It's 3 inches long. It's long enough. Full metal liners. It is solid. It's just a beautiful knife. 4-position pocket clip. Oh my gosh, this thing, for like the $32 that this is, it's wonderful. I love this knife. It is so good. And it's fidgety, and it just thwacks open. Actually, it thwacks better with the thumb flick. Boom. This thing is fantastic. Highly recommend getting this. And for those of you who may be wondering, the beads I have on my paracord, which I'm buying a slightly smaller paracord from Hobby Lobby, smaller than the 550. This is like the 390 or whatever, 350 paracord. Great stuff. These are little bearings from cheapo Sarasota Breeze desktop fans. Like little plug fan, little white box fans that you can set on your desk and get some air blowing in your face. That came out of those. Great little aesthetic copper beads there. But yeah, the Randall Adventure Training knives are so good. The Rat 1, which is a full-size knife, and the Rat 2, which is this knife, which is a little smaller. Great knives. I would say pair these two up. Get the Rat 1 and the Rat 2 together. Good combo. And so, to bring this back together, try to make sense of the mess that I have just made with my words. I like to have 2 knives. If I have to walk away with bare minimum, I cannot pack more than what... if I cannot pack what I want and I have to leave with something, I'm leaving with 2 knives. A large, heavy-duty, hard-use processing knife and a smaller food prep, lighter-use knife. Combos that I like are the Land and the Bug Out. I like the Ganzo and the Penguin. That's a good combo. I mean, just mix and match how you want. Like I said, EDC, you know, and all this other stuff with knives and multi-tools, it's a whole mental puzzle. You just got to find the pieces and you got to put them how they fit for you. So, thank you for watching this video. I hope you found some of this information useful, informational, whatever. I hope this video does what you need it to do for the day you see it. Thank you all for watching. If you like my content, please consider liking, subscribing, passing the word around. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. It would mean a lot if you could spread it around that I'm doing these videos. I try to cover things that people don't. So, thank you for watching. Hope to see you in the next video. And until then, carry well. Bye-bye.